So I'll be honest with you from the jump. I didn't get to hear most of the poem. It was in a bit of a noisy location, but I did read half of it about.
Oh, no. No, that's not. Let's pull up the whole text of the poem because that poem had so many great quotes.
Dang. Well, I thought the beginning was like the first sentence or two.
Yes.
Amazing too.
Yes.
And it's a lot to like chew on and think about also.
Yes.
It was
really
like
is.
Not only, beautiful, but it really worked my brain out too, which I love in a poem. I love when a poem can make you, I don't know, like think doubly.
Yep. Okay, here.
Is this it? It's so short.
No, this is just a little bit of it.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Okay.
Oh, this is what I was talking about that made me think. So why don't we read this? I'll tell you what it made me think about.
Okay, so are we on everywhere?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Why don't we introduce the show then? Welcome everyone.
Hi.
To
Get Your Chocolate On.
I'm Dr. Amanda Kemp.
And I'm Miss Makeda.
And this episode is brought to you by Racial Justice from the Heart. And Racial Justice from the Heart is a education and consulting company that helps people to create profound human connections, even while we stand for justice, always coming from the heart. Because truth be told, we want the heart to lead, and that's where we will find forgiveness, compassion, and usually a lack of excessive righteousness.
I have to say, the older I get, the more I see how creative and one of a kind your business model is.
Yes, it is.
It's a real. I feel like that's a hard sell sometimes.
What, the whole from the heart?
Yeah.
Especially
if you're trying to sell to businesses. But I respect it. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
If I were a business, I know I'd be attracted to that.
Oh, that's sweet. I mean, honestly, so much of what we know about health and I want to say health. It has to do with what we're holding, what we're thinking, and what we're holding in our hearts. And if what we're promoting gives us a sense of righteousness, but also a sense of how victimized we've been or how awful other people are, it actually is feeding ourselves information that keeps us in a state of stress.
I can totally see how that's possible. And you can tell because I feel like when you work actively to break these cycles, there's such a big difference.
Yes.
And like how people are maybe responding to everything you do, the things that you do in the first place.
Yes.
It's like, I love breaking cycles and seeing what comes up. It's like a whole new aspect of life that I've been closed off to. It's so cool.
It is. And, one of the things I wanted to talk about today, of course, besides the fabulous Amanda Gorman, I'm just getting myself set up because everyone, I'm wearing a blazer in honor of Madam Vice President. So I was just like, for Kamala Harris, I just wanted to say, she did well. Madam Justice Sonia Sotomayor, shout out. You did very well, even though you mispronounced Kamala's name.
Oh, no, she didn't.
She did.
We're not going to judge.
We're not going to judge
more than
we've done it more than enough times.
But God darn.
I know. It's serious. It's serious. That pronunciation of her name is really out there.
That's like, imagine if they said like introducing Makeda Anthony Kemp as Vice President. Like that's really kind of.
And then you would say, I'm Makeda, which is what Kamala did. She said, I, Kamala Harris.
Okay.
She did not say I, Kamala. But anyway, they did well. And I even like that lady, Amy, what's her name? Oh my gosh. You all know who she is. You can put in the chat, the senator from Minnesota.
Klobuchar. Klobuchar. Her name is Klobuchar.
Yeah. She had on this beautiful yellow coat.
Oh my God. I saw so many trench coats today.
And I just felt, and I loved every time someone said, Madam Vice President. It was so, it felt yummy. I felt good.
Yeah. It's very respectful.
It felt
so very
Madam Vice President.
It's like what the closest thing we have to Your Highness.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
That little madam.
That little Madam Vice President. So in honor of all these powerful women of color, I put on my blazer today. Or maybe I'll lower the screen a bit so you can see it. Because behind us, we have that beautiful painting, of course. Which we could tell you about another time. This is like my version of the power
suit. Showed the tattoo off, girl.
I know. Okay, you know what's down there? I will tell you all, between me, you, and Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, there's a Black Panther on my chest. So let's not forget who's really here. Okay? With the blazer. There we go. Let's go back now.
It's such a good reminder. You just wouldn't expect it, but she's got it in her. It's in there for sure.
So yeah, so we're so happy to have you all here with us today. How are you feeling after the inauguration, Makeda?
I was surprised at how happy I was. Just watching politics in general, it doesn't move me terribly. And then I knew what to expect, so it was like, but it was something so refreshing. It's like every year there's a few more Black faces on there and up in the front row. And it's just like, I wonder how mixed we can make it up there, And I feel like Bernie Sanders, he counts as a Black person, like him sitting there.
God. Oh, he was there?
Oh my god.
I missed him. I was saying to Michael, what happened to Bernie? So he was up there?
Yeah, he was up in the stairs, like totally isolated. Or
he was isolated.
Social distance. I don't know what the word is.
Social distance.
But otherwise, I mean, like, yeah, the inauguration was fine. I'm glad nothing bad happened. I was really worried. I think we both were that something else was going to happen. But I mean, my guard is still up because
we're still in January and energetically and astrologically, chaos,
right, it's rolling, it's stubborn chaos too.
Yeah, persistent, right. And I just found out last night that someone who I know very peripherally, who's a respected physician in our community, has bought into the idea that the election was that Biden stole it. I was like, wow. So there's a couple things about that. We know how I feel about it. Number one is when Trump won, nobody said it was stolen.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, US elections went from being fair, which I doubt, to being unfair.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, did you think this was a real democracy? Okay.
So here's what came to me.
Because we have an electoral college. That is not democratic. I'm getting hot. That makes me so mad.
I feel like more often than not, if the votes have been swayed, they've been swayed the other way, or if they've been quote unquote stolen.
Yeah.
In the past, like if elections have been stolen from people, it's been vice versa, and that got me thinking. Dang, like so these people are really just upset, and they feel entitled enough to do something like that. And it just got me thinking that is why this nation has done so much to remove that entitlement from Black people, because if they were to have that sense of entitlement, something I think more similar to what happened January 6th would have happened already for sure.
Interesting. Well,
we've had so much worse done.
To us, for sure.
And it's like over the years, just got me thinking about upbringing and everying.
Well, things, like we could go in that direction, I'm sure.
Right, but
did you pull up on the
Facebook?
Comments? Yeah, because I want to make sure, because some people, we want to keep people involved, but this thing, what I want to say about when you have people who are like millions, we just have to really understand that millions and millions of people voted for Trump twice.
Yeah.
So, and they live here. They live on my street. So, I am actually thinking that how much Biden Harris will actually be able to govern is in question.
That's true.
Given how many people really believe Fox News.
Right. So are you saying local government is going to take is going to be on the stage?
I'm saying that the things that we saw on January 6th, the whole Trump agenda, all the conspiracy theory thinking, I'm saying that machinery is going to keep going.
Yeah.
And those people aren't going to all of a sudden go, oh, wait, what about
I know. Wait, the United States is better than this. I forgot. Oh my God.
Right. Yeah, I don't think I just, so I'm really so I'm questioning that, and I want us to all enjoy the moment, because you know what? He got into the helicopter or whatever the vehicle was, and he's gone. And that is a victory.
That is a victory. And we can add to put some positive spins on this. Some of the things Joe Biden has already done.
Oh,
He's ceased the wall building that was costing billions of dollars for nothing, really. He also removed the Muslim ban right away since he got into office.
oh wow.
He put a 0% interest on student debt.
Oh,
So it's, I mean, or either he has a plan, it's like moving, or he did it. I'm pretty sure he did it though, because AOC was tweeting about it.
oh,
She's like, now delete it, remove it all.
that's right. Remove it all. AOC, we're with you, girl.
And that's the thing. So I see a lot of activists saying, enjoy, take your win, sit with it, feed
Yeah.
it in, because that is
Yeah.
a big win, actually.
I agree.
Considering the forces moving against us. that is a
Considering
big
the
win.
forces moving against us. Okay, I
That's a
accept.
win.
I accept.
But after that, yeah, of course.
We-
the
we-
other phrase we love saying, don't get too comfortable. You know,
No,
we never
really.
are. I mean,
well, we hit the
So-
good point. We never are. But you know, one of the things we were talking about earlier was the need to be responsible for what we're telling our consciousness, you know, and our health and our hearts. So on one hand, don't get too comfortable, meaning don't get complacent.
yeah.
Absolutely, don't get complacent. But you know what? I was just thinking about this.
What you thinking about?
I was just thinking how spiritually, so this is energetically spiritually, this is not rationally factually. I'm just putting it out there. What if we walked around with the conviction, the knowledge that we won? What if we thought, you know how you can watch a basketball game or another sport and, oh, you better let somebody in. And you'd be like, oh, I don't know, back and forth, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? What if you you watch it because it's interesting, but you know in the end, you know, we won.
Oh, that type of conviction.
Yeah, we won. I've been to the future. I'm coming back, y'all. We won.
I do believe that.
Yeah, me too.
I think when I look historically at Earth energetically, I feel us moving out of a dark, very physical also,
Mhm.
that leads to sort of a violent phase.
Mhm.
Everything was so much more physical. And now we have, I don't know, I think phones are really putting a new twist on the way that we interact with each other,
Mhm.
that we inflict violence on each other and things like that. So I think the way I see it, it feels like we're rolling in a good direction, and it's not like any momentum is being lost.
Yes. Okay, I'm with you.
But I see what
I feel
you're
like
saying.
we're rolling in a good direction. So let's
Let's
not go to sleep. Let's not be complacent. But let's
know we won.
presume that we win. And what could slow us down? What if what slows us down is fear and resentment, you know, hate, anger? What if that slows us down?
I can see how it can be hard for some people when I think about people who have maybe lost family members
Yes.
and things like that.
Yes.
Lost lives to the protests and
100%. You're right.
Then it's like,
I'm
I
not
don't-
saying don't feel your anger or
Yeah,
your
yeah.
sadness. In fact, what I would say is feel it and let it flow through you.
yeah, feel flow.
Feel flow.
we
Feel
love the
flow.
feel flow.
We love the feel
I
flow
did
here.
feel flowing.
Have you been feel flow?
I
Oh
have
my
been feeling.
gosh. Well, I think we should we feel flow a little now? Let's see some comments. We just want to involve you all in this conversation.
Okay, I
And
did.
maybe we'll go to some feel flowing.
Per our voter election fraud situation,
Yeah.
Erica just wanted to add that it's more evidence of voter suppression than voter fraud, and that was important, which is
And
very
didn't-
true.
And didn't Stacey Abrams create Fair Fight or Fair Vote?
Stacey Abrams did something that was very
There would be
gate
nothing.
opening,
We
yeah.
would not be where we are without Stacey Abrams.
and
Who knew
we,
that woman and that movement could become this like tipping point?
we're gonna do a Stacey Abrams episode. I think
We
we already
are.
said we were, maybe, but we need to do like a
we did,
senators of color, politicians
do.
of color.
because we did AOC, who we love
Oh my God,
because
God
she's from the
bless.
Bronx, and you know the boogie down is tight here.
Oh my
but-
God, just yesterday she was out in New York protesting with members of a grocery store on a strike in the Bronx. I was like, AOC, you are working too hard, girl. She's out there with the megaphone, and I know it's
On
cold.
Inauguration Day?
I'm pretty sure it was inauguration night.
Oh, wow.
If it wasn't the day after. It was
Oh.
recent though.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, shout out to AOC.
Yeah.
The energy, she has conviction.
Oh my God. She's, yeah.
Her and Bernie, I think that's something
We
they
should-
both carry, and that's something we're so drawn to. about
Yeah,
them.
I think especially her, I feel like we should be sending prayers of protection.
To AOC,
Mhm. I do.
I can see how people would see her as an easy target.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when they were storming the Capitol, but Makeda and I weren't together, but we both separately had this thing about where's AOC?
Where the hell is she?
Where the hell
Oh
is
my
AOC?
God.
Is AOC protected? Yeah.
Yeah. Also want to give name drop Eugene Goodman. I think his last name is Goodman. I believe so. Goldman maybe. He was a security guard at the Capitol that led them on a wild goose chase. Led the mob that way. So they had time to remove the people out of the chambers.
Oh my goodness.
So-
Really?
And he's a black man as well. And
Oh.
I know that must have been stressful dealing with this.
They had them chasing him. I have a white truck
white
mob
mob
chasing you with flag, Confederate flag.
And the thing was, he was part of Kamala and Biden's security team today or during the inauguration.
oh my
And
God.
he looks so pissed off, and I'm like, I wonder if he's like, I'm so done working for these damn people. What the hell?
or maybe they didn't take his advice. He was like, listen, I've been through this.
I-
What are some people saying?
Aaron says he was honored yesterday.
Oh,
Thank goodness. I'm so glad. I was worried, this would all escape and people wouldn't know his name. Oh, look, they want to talk about Amanda's poem. We totally forgot
Oh,
about it.
Celia. Okay, Celia. So as you all know, Amanda Gorman is our National Poet Laureate, Youth Poet Laureate. And
How old is she? That's one thing I didn't get.
so she's 22.
Ooh.
Yep.
So young.
She's the youngest in living memory
Nice.
to do the inauguration poem. And a lot of quotes from her in the mass media in terms of quotes from her poem. Here's a piece of it. It's called The Hill We Climb.
The hill we climb.
Yeah, and the piece of it that a lot of people are quoting is a piece that says, "We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it could never be permanently defeated. In this faith, in this truth, in this faith, we trust. In this truth, in this faith, we trust. For while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us." That's just a little excerpt that a lot of folks have been quoting.
Lay the pressure on, why don't you?
I mean, kind of like what we were talking about, though, right? About if you presume we've been to the future and we won, we're saying folks in our descendants looking back are going to be looking back on us.
Yeah.
At that moment. So I'd love to hear what other people, what you appreciated most about her reading.
If you have any lines you remember, I think I saw someone comment something.
Yeah, let me see. There was something else.
Francis, I love when Amanda said, "Be the light."
Yeah.
You are so.
Oh.
Oh, and Scylla liked her choreography too. That is the second person I've really heard mention her movement
Yes.
as well as her her poem. The hand movements were impressive.
Yeah. Well, because they
I
also
loved her
pose.
style.
They
Yeah, I loved
her style, that head wrap.
The yellow too.
Oh,
And the yellow was popping off.
yeah, and well, that was also where I wore my red today, because that was like a crown.
It
Wasn't
did
she?
look like a crown.
Her Majesty, you said Her Majesty. Honestly, she was majestic, and she had said in an interview in 2017 that she wants to be president in, I think, 2031, and she told people to put it in their iCloud calendars. She did. She said, put it in the calendar now.
2031. It's just so funny. It's crazy to me that people are thinking that far ahead because I was born in 2001. So 2031 means
You'll be 30.
yeah, I'll be 30. That's just stressful in a whole nother way. But so anyways, I was talking to them about it. Her mother-daughter relationship.
Oh yeah, let's go there.
So she has a twin. Oh. which I love. We know a lot of twins, so I guess it's
Mhm.
always fun. And her mother was a single mother, and they grew up sort of at in the what she called the intersection of communities in Los Angeles. And Amanda referred to herself as feeling like an alien in school. And I think maybe we've all felt like an alien once or twice. So I could totally relate, and I felt for her. And her mother was an English teacher, a middle school English teacher, which I love that. And she's so committed, Amanda and her mother, to education, and education being a cycle breaker and moving people up to the next phase of their life. And I mean, look at what she's done with her education. And she's loved poetry her whole life. I feel like I love people like that. Or maybe I'm a little jealous of those people who are born with that like vocation, and they just get to it so early, or exposed to it so early, that just becomes not even a question, but a part of their life path. How cool is that?
How cool is that? That is awesome. I think it's awesome.
It's crazy. Okay, let's
see what some of our folks are chatting in about.
Amanda would be 32
so she won't be old enough. Okay, maybe she said 2041 then, because then she would be 40, so she'd be old enough.
She'll be eligible in 2034, which is when she aims to run.
Oh, is it 2034?
Oh, she mentioned 2036. She'll be 37.
Okay, so everybody's hearing different numbers. But anyway,
hold on, isn't AOC running in 2024?
For what?
No, so I don't know for sure, but didn't she mention, or do people just want that?
I think people might want that.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't think she would just go straight for president,
but Barack Obama went straight from the Senate.
That is true.
And Hillary ran straight from the Senate.
Honestly, I think now that we've all sort of got a real personal look at the Capitol, all of a sudden I'm like, is that really enough political experience to become the president? Well, all of a sudden I don't feel
Trump didn't have any of it.
How does
he wasn't even a mayor?
Isn't that a requirement?
He wasn't a school board member. He wasn't a dog catcher.
Isn't that a requirement? Don't you have to serve politically on something?
No, you don't have to be a public anything. Can you imagine?
I don't buy that.
You have to be a billionaire who can pay for ads.
Oh, I heard this too, Fran. Amanda was born with a speech impediment, which she overcame sophomore year in college. So what she said was, she couldn't say her R's properly. So instead of saying girls run the world, she said young women something the globe.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious because she's not going to let it stop her from saying what she wants. So, quote, the nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. That's really beautiful. Nice. That's nice to hear. Because I think we picture, that's why I have such a problem, I guess, with such dependence and allegiance to the Constitution. Because it was so long ago, and that I don't have a problem with having a constitution. I just have a problem with not being concerned enough about whether things are outdated or valid or whatever. And so our nation isn't finished yet. I think we pictured it as being finished so long ago.
Good point.
Right?
I really like that, Makeda, because remember who wrote the Constitution. It was a more conservative document than the Declaration of Independence, because it's in the Declaration of Independence that has the saying, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. That's actually not in the Constitution. So anyway.
Nobody has ever brought that up, not that I've heard.
Not to you, at least. And, and that Constitution was all about protecting slavery and slaveholders' power.
And that's part of why I'm just,
So when you talk about, we're not finished, we're not broken, we're unfinished, and we do have unfinished business, and it is in part because of this Constitution, and this Electoral College.
I guess what's crazy is I feel like we're kind of backed into a corner at this point when it comes to American racial relations, at least when we're speaking as simply as black and white. It like we're sort of at the tip of the pyramid or at the base, wherever the end is, like something has to just happen. That's how I feel. So I'm wondering, is that how people were feeling while the civil rights movement was happening? Did they also feel like this was like, America's racial relations in a corner, what's going to happen? Because in that case, I guess I feel like we got a while till we win-win.
Well, we got a while to be win-win. I don't know. We don't know how long it will take, and when you break through something, it doesn't mean that there's no more left to grow, but you can definitely break through something that was causing suffering.
I know. It's just surprising me how many breakthroughs it's taking. And granted, it hasn't been a lot when you think of big breakthroughs, but it's still like, wow, we've gone through so many, and still there's racism creeping up through every crack and crevice and filling in that empty space where like possibility lies. So it's okay, let's read some. Cat Lamb says I think this is a quote from the poem. There's always light if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. You both are light. I think of all of us in this session are brave lights. I completely agree. And I feel like maybe not, but I was gonna say all it really takes for light is good intentions.
Yeah, I think good intentions. I think some practical action to go along with those intentions is also good.
That's why I'm checking. I'm like, I don't really know. It sounds a little too easy.
It sounds a little, because, what is a good intention? Like, are you checking yourself? Are you growing and expanding yourself?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. But that could be interpreted so many ways.
Yeah. Well, as it probably should be, because, there's not one little short answer for everybody, right?
Right.
For growing and, even having more and more deeper understanding. What does it mean to be liberated?
Have you been drinking?
I've been drinking your water. I'm sorry. I didn't bring any hot water for myself in. So yeah, so we're still hearing some great quotes. Okay, here's something else.
Could gratitude be what opens our hearts and minds to light of love, to the light of love? 100%. Yes. I think gratitude is such a big part.
Yeah, it's so powerful.
I said it and I'll say it again. People call it the God frequency. And I really think that's true.
Ooh,
it's part of it.
Oh, definitely. I'm with you on that one. So here's another excerpt from her poem.
Nice.
She says, now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be. A country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation.
Oh my God.
We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation.
What I think it's hilarious, because I think both political groups move by that.
Inaction and inertia.
Inaction, and that the second part though, inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. It's like we're also committed to action right now.
Yes. And when you said both political groups, I just can't stress enough how the Democratic Party is not the vehicle of our liberation. I really don't want us to get confused.
I know.
I really don't want us to get confused, and I don't want us to think that and we will need to push Biden Harris to really forward an agenda that's progressive, that really makes things better for all of us, for those of us, especially the 99% or the 96%. I mean, really, we're gonna really have to push for ourselves. And people like AOC, I'm just saying,
exemplary.
Yeah, she's gonna have to keep going on the grocery market and showing up. I mean, you're gonna have to keep operating in both worlds.
She is a busy lady. I wonder, where does that makes me think about what you said last week about people. Some people just have that sort of feeling to get to the front lines. It's like very natural. Yeah. And so for those of us who don't have that, we're almost like in awe, like, wow, you are such a warrior,
Yes.
And they're just like, what the hell else was I gonna do? Not do it,
Right.
And I feel like AOC is one of those people, but she makes me want to do more.
Good.
but I also get stressed out watching her.
Yeah.
I'm like, part of me, and I don't want to limit myself, but part of me is like, I could just never live that life.
Okay, well, you don't need to.
I know.
There's a lot of lanes.
I want to be as good as AOC, I'll say it.
Well, why don't you give her some money?
Yeah.
I mean, it takes money to run a campaign, and she has to run every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So give her some money.
I never mind giving money to things that
Yeah.
feed me.
Or retweet her. Maybe you already do that. I don't know.
I don't have a lot of followers, so it doesn't really matter. Like no one's gonna see it.
No one's gonna see your retweet. Okay, but you know what I'm saying? You can contribute to her if she's fighting the fight that you want to, or if she's opening the way, you know, in some way that you love. Then I think it's on all of us to contribute
and let her know. I'm glad she has like such a big fan base in my generation.
She does.
So I'm really glad that she's getting the appreciation and respect that she deserves as well.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
I hope that keeps her going.
Yeah. I know we talk a lot about AOC. We used to talk a lot about Beyonce. We seem to have,
at least
we've left Beyonce behind.
Beyonce, I'm sorry to say she's no longer important.
I mean, really, she seems to have been, I mean, I love Black Parade.
Oh, I didn't even watch it.
Well, I didn't watch it either, but I love the song. I do. I really, 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 really do. I played on my workshops.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. But it would have been nice if she'd been more visible, maybe in this more recent election.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, we're not going to hold it against her. That woman has got kids on kids on kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's got like 4.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She's got a lot of kids. So I mean,
okay.
And you know, when things get real, sometimes you just want to buckle down and protect your children.
Well, yeah, true. So and we don't know, you know, you don't know what's going on in her family. So you're right. No judging. But I'm just saying she hasn't come up because we haven't really seen her out there.
That's true. And normally she's doing something for Black women. So I think.
Oh, you know what? She did do something with the NAACP for Black businesses.
I know that.
I'm remembering now. Yeah, she did do something there. But something you said about Black women, have you all seen the hashtag Trust Black Women?
No.
Hashtag Trust Black Women. It's this thing that's going around, and it's based on the idea that Black women's position in society, which tends to be from the bottom.
Mm-hmm. From
the bottom, you actually can see things, you know, that people on the top have a harder time seeing. Mm-hmm. Another way to think about it is, if you are on the margins, you can actually see more than if you're in the center of it. You really can't see what you're, you know, which you take for granted. But when you're on the outside, you're on the margins, you can see what the center looks like.
100%.
Yeah.
With everything, I feel like it makes me think alone just about like Black kids and their parents and white kids and their parents. Like you don't even know there's a difference until you experience one, and you're like, what the hell was my like parenting relationship? You know?
Yeah.
It's all very different, and exposure is everything.
Yes, exposure, position. So check out that thing, hashtag Trust Black Women, because well, there was someone who was a speaker for MLK Day in our community here in Lancaster. Black woman, I'm forgetting her name, but she was talking about how at first she felt like she didn't really want to like promote that hashtag, because she was like, you know, biologically, there's nothing that makes a Black woman better than anybody else on the planet, 100%. But she was like, but if you think about it as positionally, what are we trying to say? That Black women in positions that we stand in society, that it gives us access to a critique, and maybe also to a strength that other folks should look to. And so I was very proud yesterday to see, Madam Vice President, Madam Poet Laureate, Madam Poem, inaugural poem, Amanda. I was proud to see her. That felt really good. And it's just made me think about this thing.
I've never heard that hashtag before. Trust Black women.
Yeah, hashtag Trust Black women.
It's so interesting because originally our topic of the episode was going to be more along the lines of women of color and white women relationships, and just all about it. And I didn't know where to start, so I just Googled that, and I found an interesting article. First of all, the title was so problematic to me. It's like, can Black women and white women be true friends? And I'm like, automatically, that's not even the question. I've had true white friends before. That's not. But I can see how someone coming at that who hasn't had Black friends or white friends before might really take that article, that title personally.
Well, yeah, I think that that could be really relevant. I see a bunch of stuff in the chat. I don't know if we want to read some things from folks. What's going on with you guys? You're really chatting out there.
Francis, Biden asked us to share our power of example. Are there realistically possible examples of united, aka collaborative examples we can grow and network?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I bet they're not hard to find. You just have to know what to search for.
Yeah, like if you look at we'll see, for example, in my town, there was some protests because of the killing of a brown man by the police, and there was a multiracial group, mostly young people out. It was mostly being led by, Black and brown young adults. I guess they were adults, teenagers, I don't know. And but there were definitely white people in the mix, and in fact, some of the white people got picked up in some serious
oh yeah,
$1 million bail for a young white woman. So if you're saying, are there examples of collaborations? Yeah, if you look at some things that are really happening in real time, you can find examples of that.
In terms of thinking of any, I can't think of any. Can you think of any?
Well, I just gave you an example with that one in our community.
I guess I pictured
Lancaster, PA police protests. You'll see.
I guess I pictured a name on it. Like a corporation.
You mean like an organization?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I think is, I'll just talk about Theater for Transformation, the theater company that I created. So our focus is on telling Black stories, but we tell Black stories in relationship to other social movements. And so you will have on stage, in some of the stuff we do, you'll have on stage Asian American, Black, European American. I think that's what, like, most recent work that we did. And so what we're kind of interested in doing is looking at how we can be in solidarity with each other. And you'll see in the arts, you'll see collaborations where artists explicitly reach out to other artists from other cultural traditions to create something or to be in solidarity with each other. Oh, so you and I both noticed that Garth Brooks sang yesterday, and Makeda and I were both like, oh, that was good.
Yeah, Garth Brooks is a country singer, in case you didn't know. I didn't know he was a country singer.
But he, he wore his hat, he's definitely got a big, huge country base, very white country base. And so the fact that he chose to come out, in support of this Biden-Harris administration inauguration was political. And and he sang Amazing Grace a cappella, and he killed it.
Really?
Yeah, he really sang it really well.
I didn't think he was that good.
I thought he was great.
I thought it was a little two-dimensional.
And he invited people to sing along.
Which is sweet. I think he's definitely got a sing-along voice. Like, sing it with me now. I got it. Okay, I thought it was very moving.
Okay, well, we have different opinions. But still, so yes. And I just want to throw out the name Anne Braden, because I think we need to remember people of European descent who have showed up in solidarity and made huge sacrifices in struggles for racial justice.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna put Anne Braden on that list.
I really
Google.
I really wish we had more of a connection with the Native American community. Granted, we are on the East Coast, so it's definitely more scarce out here, sparse out here. But I think they're suffering worse than Black Americans are right now. And I really wish, I know they had their Native Lives Matter, which was collaborative with the Black Lives Matter movement, and just got me thinking, wow, we really imagine all showing up for each other, and the systematic changes that we're trying to get are the ones that we decide can impact all groups. It's hard because we need equity as well, but like a baseline sort of upgrade, thank you. So, oh my God, I feel tired, like, ooh, this convo.
What else is coming up in the
Okay.
anything in the chat
Yeah.
you want to read?
So Lisa says,
Let's look at Facebook too.
Thank you for bringing that question of can white and Black women be true friends? Oh, sorry, it was already on. Oh, what'd you do?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
So bring up that question. So to address that question then.
She said some more, though.
Oh, okay.
I think about this question deeply as a woman of European white woman. I know what you mean. I often question, even with all the work I've done myself, can I really be trusted by a woman of color to be honest? Because of the subconscious programming, I'm not 100% that I should be trusted. Actually, so the article spoke directly and said the number one reason that there's not more white and Black friendships, female friendships, is a lack of trust on both ends, and a lack of exposure is also key. Having white or Black friends like in childhood that has a big impact on people as well, which I thought was interesting. Again, exposure is so important to stereotype fighting, prejudice fighting, all of that stuff.
True.
And then they also talked about vulnerability and the ways in which white women find it, maybe you don't in particular, but generally white women see Black women as not as vulnerable or stronger. And it's like the way female relationships work, intimacy and vulnerability is kind of an important part of a healthy female relationship. So there was a lot of talk about that. And one girl gave this specific example where they were all regarding their time in boarding school together. She was the only Black kid. She's from Detroit. She got like picked out of her neighborhood and put into a New Hampshire boarding school. And they were all complaining about how hard it was. And when she said something, they were like, what? You were so strong and confident the whole time. And it's like, that explains it right there. She was like, I didn't want to say how this girl had just sort of outed herself to me in the ways that once again, I had tried to prove my vulnerability and she had sort of dismissed it and seen it a different way.
But did this happen to you?
No, this was the story that was being told within the article.
Oh, I see. Okay, because when you said I showed my vulnerability and she dismissed it, I was like, oh my God, is this your vulnerability?
No, but still, I think, anyways, the key is like just empathy and kind of resetting and I don't think it's hard when you want to make a friend. It's not hard to find the good in a person or the part of you that wants to connect with the part of them.
Well,
I feel like I just ramble.
No. I thought the story you told was good, and I want people to go to my website, dramanakemp.com, because there's a blog I wrote called Black Women, White Women, the Rub, because there are reasons why there's this like irritation between us. Yes, and it may be more in older generations than in younger generations, or maybe as you go through life, you can get more rubbed the wrong way, and then you have more guard up against white women.
It definitely goes both ways.
Yes,
definitely.
But one of the things that I say in that blog post is that white women get perceived as innocent.
Yeah,
their whole treatment
that is
in
what
our society really annoys
Black women. I was just gonna say it's like you see like the doe-eyedness. They don't even mean to sort of be that way, but it's just like it's a certain way. Sometimes you wonder like, have you gone through anything? And it maybe I'm very much a doe-eyed girl myself.
Yes, you are.
I'm aware of that. And the thing is, if you as a Black woman, I try to remove that layer when I'm like in my mind sort of subconsciously getting bothered by things, particularly with white women. I'm like, no, like it doesn't always have to be like that. First of all, no harm is meant. That's what I have to try to come to terms with. No harm is meant. But it's irritating that we know that their life's just easier in a lot of senses.
Right.
The acceptance.
Right.
The acceptance, and that might just be it. They have a sort of an automatic acceptance. I feel like that we have to work for a little bit.
So
we have to pretend to be white women sometimes.
Right. Or whatever. I'm just going to say, I just look over here. There's not a white woman over here.
That's true. I see so many wigs recently. It's really been, been hitting me hard. True.
But what I wanted to say about the thing about the innocence.
Yeah, keep going.
It's the innocence that's accorded to white women. You know what
Given
I mean?
For free.
Presumed innocent.
Yeah.
Whereas with us, something happens and we're presumed to be the problem, to be needy, to be less competent, less intelligent, tough, not vulnerable, not in need of support. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
There's a way in which
And sometimes
we're structured as opposites in our culture.
Yeah.
And Black women really feel irritated when we are somehow, when we get the short end of that, when our children get killed, you know, or jailed, or kicked out of school quicker, or punished. I mean, we're mad. We're mad. So, and then, you know,
It's so
that doe-eyed thing from white women sometimes, like, wow, Black women really, really, I just talked to, you know, I work with a lot of Black women who are just like, so like, please do not bring that near me.
Yeah.
So what I really think is that white women, so read that article, Black women, white women, the rub, on my website.
JermandaKemp.com.
Yep.
I'll put it.
Just check it out. And so what I think you can do is to, you know, put yourself in the way when you see something bad, unjust going down. Put yourself in the way when you see whiteness being centered. Put yourself in the way, and I think that will have people take an interest in you.
I agree. And
Honestly.
I have to say, the way the Black women and white women friendships that I do see are always so wholesome and balanced. I feel like, and that's because I think a lot of us Black women are drawn to sort of hippie white women. I've seen it with a lot of my friends, and I don't think it's just my specific upbringing, because it was a little hippie. I see with a lot of my friends, and I think it's, you can sort of sense the openness in a person. How open is this person? How much have they experienced? And things like that. And so these people that, or white women that we tend to be drawn to, are like, I don't know, super doe-eyed, but like intentionally so. I don't know the word. I've noticed your friend is definitely like that.
Super doe-eyed.
Yeah, but like
super
educated,
super
doe-eyed.
committed, super like, to me, they're interested, they're committed.
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe they're idealistic. Is that what you mean by super doe-eyed?
Idealistic. Thank you. I think that is the word. Idealistic, optimistic, open-minded. All three. Open-mindedness is a big one for me, I think.
Oh yeah.
I really appreciate that in any friend.
Yeah.
And also, I think, never mind, that's gonna sound stupid.
Let's get some comments from Facebook, because I feel like we haven't paid attention to the Facebook people.
Okay, so Melissa says, I don't mean to act doe-eyed or innocent. It's a nonverbal thing. This is me trying to connect, but am I being too fragile? Am I being too fragile? No, I don't. I think it depends also how the person across from you is perceiving you.
Yeah.
Because I think often I at least try to go about everybody with an open mind.
Yeah.
And then it's just how they rub my open mind. But in general, I feel like if the good intention is perceivable and it's there, that's all we really need.
And I think, and I think what you do, your integrity will show out. You know, I think your integrity will show out. That's very attractive.
I think integrity is another quality.
Yeah.
Integrity for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and what you said, Megan, about being vulnerable. Yeah. And I think asking permission. Sometimes, like, instead of just jumping into bringing up racism with somebody, like asking permission.
Yeah.
If, you know what, I wanted to talk about what I saw the other day. Would that be okay with you? Just don't be, because I'm Black, just to jump into a conversation about racism.
Right, of course. But then there's
It's
also,
stressful.
It depends how close you are too. But in general, if it's casual,
Yeah. I mean, even if it's
okay, true, because you want to respect, you want to
first.
show that you respect it.
Yeah, because, you know,
That's
I
true.
could be tired.
But when you think about your best friend,
Right.
you kind of just want to get into it, whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, you know, but this is my preference.
Yeah,
because I do this for a living. So I really want people who are my friends to be like, okay, you want to talk about this, Amanda, because I don't talk about it all the time.
All right,
By the
ready?
way, okay, I just have to say, because listen, I'm a theater person and I love to look at
Theater. Just kidding.
I love to look at the look of things.
Yeah.
And I really loved all the color. You talk about the different colored people. I was loving the colors that people were wearing.
I know, so bold. So
Yeah, I
bright.
love that. So that's why I loved Amanda's headband. And so you said I got some, I don't know, I think this is from some kind of coral thing. I just want to say, let's also be happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's totally relevant.
I'm down to be happy.
Let's-
I'm reading this comment from Fran, and I love the little information blurb. So I'm
Okay,
gonna
good.
read it. So George Washington Carver, although he was a man, lived within white communities. Although he was okay. Anyway, and built networks of mutual support through beginning with his hobby of loving art and ending with his love of the soil, plants, life, and his spiritual connection to the Creator.
Okay, so someone brought the example of George Washington Carver, who worked at Tuskegee, a historically Black college.
Yay, George!
Okay, thank you. I mean, I think it's really hard to live a monocultural life unless you're white. But if you're Black
Well, like
or
that is
of
a
color
sense
in
of-
America, I think you're more likely to have more interactions and maybe.
That's true, because even if it's
Friendships.
not white people, you'll probably have some other ethnicities in your neighborhood for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I just really feel like the key is like this next generation, they need as much exposure as possible
Yeah.
to as wide a range of people as possible.
Yeah.
Because kids are just, I mean, the ones I'm with now, I love them because they're not so scared to say things and ask questions.
Yeah.
Like when I asked them about Martin Luther King, they're like, so the white people didn't like the Black people. And it's like some adults can't even say Black people. And I just really appreciate
Some adults can't say
that.
white people.
Yeah.
Some
and
white
I-
people can't say white people.
And I just love that. I'm like, thank you. Just say what you
Let's just
think,
get to
you
it.
know?
Let's just get to it.
So,
yeah.
That's something I feel like kind of passionate about. Maybe I'll work on a project or something later on in life, like a company dedicated to giving kids exposure. But I mean, I got my whole life ahead of me.
Great. Anybody
I
say
like to
anything on
celebrate
Facebook
that.
lately? 'Cause we are talking about this delicate topic of forming strong relationships.
Melissa says vanilla ice cream doesn't understand how basic it is.
Oh,
that is
that's so
such a good,
true.
because it's really good. Vanilla ice cream is good.
I was just
but
gonna say, Melissa, you hit on
once you have butter pecan, you're like,
oh. But I have to say, Melissa, I actually really love vanilla ice cream. Oh my
It's-
God.
But
I
when you
really
haven't
do.
had anything else, vanilla bean is the cream of the crop.
That's true. But I have had a lot. And I still really like
I know.
But
You're
I also
making
like,
it very.
I also like butter pecan by itself, but on apple pie, you want, I want vanilla. I'm just saying, but yeah, vanilla ice cream doesn't know how bland it is. Doesn't know how vanilla it is. Yeah, so it does need some contrast. Oh my God, someone wrote a book. Okay, we're not going to read book length comments. So
I would love to read it.
I mean, we're not going to read them out loud.
Oh yeah,
You know,
sorry.
but you keep reading. So some of the things I said in that blog, besides saying that, one of the things that gets in the way is the innocence that's automatically accorded to white women, which really annoys Black women. It's also when white women expect more innocence to be accorded to them, that they should get more breaks. That also really annoys a lot of Black women, including me. So it's almost like, I think what's really awesome is when we stand up for each other's children. Because what do we care about the most?
The kids. It's
We do.
always the
We
kids.
do a lot of, not everybody's a mother, but I think it's for women, if you stand up for somebody's child and they see you doing that, I mean,
It means a shit ton.
yes, and you're
Especially if it's a
supporting their
Black
kid,
child.
and you're supporting their kid, you're communicating. I just feel like, I mean, because when Makeda and my son were growing up, yeah, friendships and stuff came because of kids and how people were being.
Yeah, we got a lot of support from other parents when we were kids. Lots and lots of support, especially from white women. I had a lot of white women stepping in and helping out.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to them. I'm just thinking like how moving it would be to see, you know, like a group of white mom protesters for Tamir Rice.
Yeah.
How much that would mean to Black women.
Yeah. And it would also be, just know that whatever you do, not everybody's going to like it.
Well, okay, so that's what our friend is talking about. I read some of the paragraph. All I'm going to say is, she just says you need to be prepared for a no response, right? Similar to sexual assault. If you say, hey, can we talk about this? Your perpetrator may say, no, I do not wish to talk about it.
Not the
disagree. Well, I thought that
the perpetrator would say no. No,
I thought that's
she's saying, like, if you've been sexually assaulted, the victim of the assault might be like, no, I don't want to talk about it. You said the perpetrator. I think what she's saying is that the person who's suffering from racism may not want to talk about it.
That's okay.
Give them the option to say no.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they deal with it all the time. It's not like news.
And that is another reason why we get a little irritated sometimes.
Because we're tired of being in a racist society, so we're just upset.
And nothing feels new anymore. So, I mean, that's why I get a little excited when radical things happen on either side. I'm just like, something new, and, you know, new brings new. New brings new, you know?
And I think that's the thing. We don't want to be stuck in justifying why things have to stay the same. You know, I'm just saying, you know, have some patience. Don't take it personally, but do some work.
Okay.
Do some work.
Melissa has another question. I think it's an important one. So she made the vanilla ice cream comment. And then she wants to know, but how do I get people to see vanilla isn't the only ice cream?
Yeah. Go to www.dermandakemp.com. There's so many resources there, free stuff.
Okay.
Just keep, you know, sending stuff out to your people.
Dermanda Kemp, like Dr. Amanda Kemp, squished together.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously I'm not the only resource, but I'm saying, you know, yeah.
I love talking to you. I could just talk forever.
What time is it?
It's definitely, oh my God, it's been an hour.
Has it been an hour?
I'm telling you, we can just talk forever.
God, it goes so fast. Okay, so wait, I do want to let people know, if you're somebody who's like ready to dig in and to peel some of the layers, whether you're a woman of color or you're a person of European descent, we are having a 3-month mentorship in racial justice from the heart. And it's called the Transform Your Hidden Racial Bias 3-month mentorship program. And that's where we do a wrap around you. It's 2 days live training, weekly modules after that, monthly office hours, buddy, you know, small group mentoring. And so it's all meant to give you some support. So it's not like, you know, so you don't have to just sort of like Google your way to racial justice. We think you actually need community. We think you need some kind of, you know, frankly, some kind of expertise helping you to, you know, suss out,
holding you accountable,
and some kind of accountability. So, so I hope you will check it out. I'll put it, I guess I'll where can we put it? Can we put it? We'll put it in the chat.
What you want?
Just go to, I know, I'm trying to think about, we got 2 different computers here.
Go to Dermanda Kemp, is that where it is?
It is, can I type on here?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I mean, I'm just gonna put it in here. We should.
All right. While we're wrapping up, I have my because you know you asked me any gems before I go. Well, now I have to have one ready every week. So my gem for this week, this is also going to go in my Makeda's book of life rules, is understand that even the darkest parts of you have good intentions. You know, even the most selfish part of you, even the part of you that, I don't know, we all have different dark parts, but to hear that was really nice. It felt nice to know that.
Oh, so it's sort of like a very loving attitude towards yourself.
Yeah, it's just a self-acceptance and saying that. Yeah, recognizing that I feel like everything comes from your inner child, all those.
Well, you know, your brother was telling us that so much of our consciousness is formed from when we're 0 to 7, and you know, events that happen, negativity, things that our parents do, not because they're bad. Some of them were bad, maybe. Yeah. But not because they did it on purpose, but maybe because they didn't know any better. That's what their people did. So anyway,
Absolutely.
so we got to be kind of gentle with ourselves. So I'm on board with what you're saying. And I think we also gotta, do some work to heal. Be gentle and take some steps. Be gentle and take some steps.
Exactly.
So I think I have the link to put here into the chat. Let me see. Oh, did it go in there? All right. Well, we're not gonna hold up anymore because I don't know where. Oh, there it is. Okay, it did go. Okay, good. So it's in there. You guys check it out. We would love to have you be a part of our community. Email us if you didn't get it, amanda@dramendakemp.com, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Next week, we're going to be talking about things that get in the way of different kinds of women of color forming powerful relationships and partnerships. So things that get in the way between Black women and Latino women, Black women and Asian women and Latina women, things that we've noticed.
So many women of color, we have to decide.
So many women of color.
Which ones we want to talk about.
Yeah, and
That's gonna be
but it's for real. We
Okay.
really want to delve in there, like prejudices, hurts, experiences that we're carrying around that get in the way
Ooh,
of
let's get personal.
Yeah, let's get personal.
Okay, we can get personal.
Okay, good. All right, so we'll see you all next week.
Okay, thank you if you stayed this whole time. You're amazing.
And should we say? And so this is Dr. Amanda Kemp,
and this is Miss Makeda.
and we're signing off from
Get your chocolate on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.